Good morning and welcome, everybody. Really excited for today's session. Actually, want to just before make sure we move over. Um, I'm really looking forward to the session. As a show of hands, could we just get just a bit of a litmus test, just checking who's in the room, what you're currently doing? Look, I know we all know WhatsApp. But the question is that I have for you as business owners, as people that want to drive your business, and using where technology is today, just give me a one if you are using the technologies already, WhatsApp as a tool, and give me a two if you're not. And let's just break a few things down. If you are using it manually, this counts as a two. So in other words, if you need to use your two fingers to type all the time and do business, it's a two. Okay, a lot of twos coming through. Thank you very much. Just need okay, then I can at least see this here in front of me. Okay, a lot of twos. A few ones. So some of those ones I'm going to lean on you a little bit to really jump into where you're at, and then try and bring everybody a little bit closer. So look, there's lots of opportunities, a lot of twos coming through. Thank you very much, everybody. So once again, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it so much, and your attention. I know you could be anywhere, you could be doing a lot of things, your business needs attention, your family needs attention, but you're here with us right now, and we want to, and from us in the SME community, we want to just say a huge thank you. WhatsApp is a very interesting prospect. So just a short little thing on who's this guy and why is he talking here. So I've been involved in marketing itself for close to 2 decades, in the business of marketing and general business in the African region longer than that. And we have implemented a number of WhatsApp funnels throughout the country, specifically and interestingly enough, with more companies that want to go with an overseas market, which is fascinating because you see that actually in South Africa, the amount of people that use WhatsApp versus like in the US, for example, it's staggering. And but obviously India, Brazil, huge, and in Europe, it's a big app. So we've used it to communicate with people, retain attention, and get repeat sales. And obviously with this event, the advent of AI chatbots and being able to just have this flow of communication without us needing to do it, we've managed to implement it in a number of spaces. So we're going to jump through a few of these, and we're going to talk about a few examples, and we're going to talk about exactly how that works for you. So I see, so Angelique says that she uses the quick responses. Very well done. I guess that does count as a one. I guess it does count as a one, yes, because it's a little bit better. Obviously, the only problem is then it kicks in the need to have to, use the two fingers. But is the text, so somebody's saying the text is fuzzy. Look, on my side, it's right. Please check in the chat. So a few other people are having the same problem.
Yeah, it is fuzzy on our side.
Okay, don't worry about it, because you shouldn't read anyways. let's have a straight up. But can you see the picture at least?
We can see the picture. We can see the
great.
picture, and the presentation will also be sent out to everybody afterwards.
100%.
But as you say, people shouldn't be reading now; they should be listening.
Exactly. There's way too much text here anyways. So the thing is really, look, why WhatsApp? And the reality here in South Africa is that everybody's using it. we pay more attention now to WhatsApp than we do our SMSs. As an iPhone user, you know, it's just one of those things. I get like over 1,000 SMSs, and WhatsApp is just the only one that I pay attention to. So soon it's going to become like the SMS, but that's a whole different story. So why should you be using it? First of all, the high open rates. It's crazy. We already spoke about the familiarity, the idea that everybody's using it. If you're not on WhatsApp already, it's very interesting in spaces like Brazil and India, where they already, I mean, I'm talking going back maybe about 2015 already, that all businesses were already on WhatsApp. Where we took that little bit longer. So we can already see the trend of what's going to happen just looking at those spaces. So then you got and it's got much higher open rates. And the cool thing is you can have this high level of retention. And the beautiful thing now is that you can actually streamline it and actually make it 24/7. What is the difference? So there's three, I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's three different WhatsApp applications. There is WhatsApp, which is your normal one. That's the simple one, the simple normal logo. Then you've got the WhatsApp Business, and I've forgotten the lady's name, but it was Angelique. So I think it was Angelique who has the WhatsApp Business, and that WhatsApp Business has got a B in the middle. With that one, with each one of these, when the last one is WhatsApp API, with each one of these, there's limitations and there's benefits. WhatsApp Regular, as you can see here, it's driven for individual communication. It's generally on your personal device. It does not have the ability to do integrations or carry chatbots or get any sort of information whatsoever. The interactive messaging obviously works in terms of being able to send messages, but it's a person-to-person in communication system. Then you've got your business WhatsApp, and your business WhatsApp it's got higher capacity in the messaging sphere. I mean, if you've got, as I'm pretty sure all of you are on the SMME, on the WhatsApp group, there you can have 1,000 people in the community, and you can send out pretty much a maximum of 1,000 messages, or messages to 1,000 people, but only in the context of that community. But if you're sending out bulk messaging at one shot, it's like 256, right? 250 messages. And again, you can link it, and you can link it to like your desktop, you can link it to these other things, but mainly it's again on one device. And a lot of people use this, and I see a lot of people play like Angelique in the form of getting those replies. If you do that, that's really awesome. You can have a catalog in there. It's a really good way to market. And then there's the API. The API, that's the granddaddy. You know, that is the ultimate, because you can send out 1,000+ messages at once. Some of the campaigns that we've run, I mean, we've sent over 10,000 messages in sort of one go, and multiple, obviously. And then the cool thing is you can add in the videos. I think some of you received the messages from me with the videos and things like that. And this is the beauty of being able to do this. The only thing is now what happens is the phone disappears, because now you can connect it directly to a computer. It's connected directly to Meta, and you can have unlimited amount of agents and unlimited amount of devices. It's got a high level, in-depth analytics tool that's built into it, so you can see everything quite at an advanced level. So just as a show of hands, in terms of let's just say yes or no, were you aware of this? Yes or no? I just want to also know, like, okay, cool, great. So a lot of no's. So you got to choose your platform. If you're going to be choosing your normal WhatsApp, you literally, if you choose your business WhatsApp over your normal WhatsApp, because you probably have WhatsApp, it's like you're literally converting into a different space. And WhatsApp and the other one becomes redundant on that one device. So just bear this in mind. And the same thing happens when you take that number and you connect it to a business API, the phone itself becomes redundant. So you might be able to call and stuff on that number, but you can't use WhatsApp on that number again. It's completely attached to a computer. And that is also, it comes with its own other complications, but we'll get into that. Cool, great. I'm glad I could have provided value there. So let's just talk about a few examples, right? How can this be used and what context? So we'll talk a little bit about what's already existing. Discim's using it. Discovery have an awesome chatbot service, but the idea here is about customer service, right? So you can really use it in order to feed people good information. And we've built in the form of just helping people answer questions that they have. And because of AI now, you can literally have it be able to think about the question and answer it in natural language, which is just phenomenal. And you just need to feed it as if having somebody sort of sitting there all day, just waiting for a message to come through. And especially in a lot of especially in the US, not in the US, like in Brazil, especially in India, they've really become good at being able to take whatever questions people have, their general questions, and turn it into an automated conversation that can lead to sales. So payment processing, this is coming. This is not here yet. This is more what the corporates are using. This is more what the bigger companies are using, and it's over here. And then especially in places like Brazil, like India, they already can process payments. So I don't know if the ones know WeChat in China and stuff. It's quite a far ahead in that space. But in India and in Brazil, they're already bringing that up. So you're gonna have you can process payments literally on your phone. So literally, as somebody places that order in, for all of you that have business WhatsApp, as they place it, it proceeds to charge, and through the phone, maybe it'll be the Samsung Pay, maybe it'll be the Apple Pay. It will literally process through one of those channels, and the person will be able to buy. And this is an example that's actually in Brazil. So it's not necessarily we're going to replace because I see a question around this. It's not necessarily going to be replacing those, but what it will be is a different one that you can use within the platform itself. It's just another portal, it's like another channel. So it's just something to be aware of. So this is coming. It's not here yet. And this is why you should be on it. Because if you have e-commerce, if you have a service-oriented business, and you want to be able, because currently what we're doing is we'll just drive it to a link to like the link to the website that's mobile operated, that's mobile optimized, and then it kind of feels seamless. So instead of it having to be like this very clunky thing, the difference is here is that it'll all be done on the same interface, and that does change everything. So South African business cases, and where can this work for you? Are you in retail? So really just thinking about what is the process, and just with everybody on this AI bandwagon, AI is going to replace my job, it's going to replace the people. Look, on one end, there might not necessarily be a need to take on somebody, but on the other end, these tools, especially now where they are, it's going to augment your people. I was at my a chiropractor the other day, and the receptionist is struggling. Is she struggling to be on the phone, make the appointments, see the customers? Now, my question to you, if you in this service orientated space, is it more important that your receptionist be doing those things or looking after the one most important person that's walking through the door? And I'm going to leave that there for you to decide, because it depends on your process. And we might end up going back to this boring word of process and how you actually do things, because that's very important if you're planning on automating anything. Now, the question I even had to him was, what if your receptionist wasn't this lady that's pushing papers, but is actually somebody that's standing there connecting with your customer, giving them a good feeling of being there? And that is all taken care of. So it's really about thinking differently about the way we do business. And when you within the fashion industry, for example, if you've got a boutique, if you've got a store, then it's about inquiries. It's about literally just asking people, having people answer their questions immediately. And the cool thing is, especially when things happen, you're triggering between, especially currently, we're triggering between stuff that's happening on the WhatsApp and stuff that's happening on the website, or that would the core application that is controlling everything. We call it a CRM, and we're building loyalty. We actually add in loyalty points and things like that, and then that comes through on their WhatsApp. And I mean, it's somebody's got it right there all the time, receipts and stuff. I mean, how many of you now are finding that the receipts are being WhatsApp to you? So it's already getting there. Within the service beauty industry, it's the same thing around scheduling. With doctors, it's a big part of who we're targeting at the moment, to just sort of help them get better with how they take the appointments on. And the other one is just reminding people about checkups. Now imagine, you get this WhatsApp, you should be available. Your time for this checkup should be now. If your specialist is actually doing that, you're going to feel much more looked after. And because the receptionists are overworked, quite frankly, especially if it's a busy practice. So you have that will build that. So especially we're looking at people that have tire fitment centers, understanding that over a period of time, with us driving, with the amount of time that we drive, you should be at more or less changing your tires about now, right? And then this is a message that's going directly from the business, the brand, right out to you. These are real use cases that you could be using. Think about it in your use case. Think about it for your specific business. And the other part is around hospitality. Again, when we're talking about bookings, the cool thing is we can have personalization in there. So you can have the name, you can have the receipt number, you can have even a memory of what that customer consumed, and say, hey, you like this. What about this? This is what Amazon did really well. It's what they do really well. And now you can bring that in. And guys, we don't have to think about the cost is so much less now. We can do this at a fraction of what the likes of Amazon and stuff paid. We're talking about years ago, right? So I see these questions. At some point, we're going to come back to them. I just want to sort of get through all of this stuff. Yeah, so again, what does that sort of initial journey look like? And really, how can you be applying it? It's really just about making sure that you firstly put the right messages in the right place. And all of us have attention on our WhatsApp. It's then about being able to point out, these are the points that most people go through, and then saying, okay, if someone's going to come, if I find most of the people, I was actually doing it with my booking bot, for example. and interacting with it. So I was like, hey, I want to book a time with Marlon. It's like, okay, cool. What time would you prefer? But now I cut that short by saying, yeah, sure, Marlon's times are available at this point, at these available times. Which one would you prefer? Oh, this one. Okay, great. Then just we can book this. What's your name and your number? What's your name and your email address? This is the okay, great, cool. Booking done. So it's about really understanding what is those specific, what is the flow? And when you know what the flow is of the conversation, then you can drive the people accordingly, right? And that's what it needs to take in the beginning. And then you can have the follow-up, which happens after. You can have the things that happen, that kind of happen in between as well. Upsells, things like that. And now talking about the upsells, the cool thing is you can make this really personalized. You can have a video that goes out to that person as well. And today, there's so much that we can do around personalizing that communication to the customer, be it in the form of a video and saying, hey, thank you very much for your time. Even if it's a pre-recorded one and they know it, it's going to have a whole different feeling to the customer. So again, we're just sort of going through the different elements that would go. You'd have your order flows, and this especially when you're working with API order flows and tracking orders, management of orders. Sometimes you have a holding system that does this. The only difference is the WhatsApp reflects this. So that's the biggest thing. And you just need to make sure you have this already internally. The problem with this is, with all of this stuff, is that you need a CRM. Without a CRM that holds all this information and is able to give it out, look for it, and or at least put it into a place where it can be stored, this doesn't work very well. Quick question: does everybody have a CRM? Yes or no? Just yes or no. Just tell me, do you have a CRM? Because I actually noticed one of the questions was like that. So guys, look, if you don't have a CRM, I'm concerned on whether you have a business, mainly just because around your marketing, because how are you controlling where your customers are? How are you focusing on how you're servicing them? The last time you serviced them, how did you invoice them? You need to have those together. So I would really strongly suggest, because the majority came through, said no, that you get a CRM that works. And there's a lot of them out there. Try and find one that works with the business processes. I can suggest one which is Go High Level. It's a little bit pricey, but at the end of the day, once everything is in one spot and you can do your marketing, you can focus on your CRM. On your contacts, you can send out the emails, the WhatsApps, the SMSs, and you can do it all in one place. It's really nice. I like the system myself. And we're actually trying to work on something that can provide at least that system to everybody else. I know somebody brought up a system, and regardless of your system, the idea is you want to find something that plays nicely with others, at least plays nicely with integrating software like make.com. I'm going to just say that word. I don't want to throw out too many things, but you just want to find something that has a number of good integrations, because we all try and find an all-in-one package that's not a closed system. It's just because then it's easier for you to connect with other things, and you're not also jumping from one application to the other. CRM system, critical. Someone said Monday.com. I don't know it as and Notion there. Okay, that's interesting. I'd love to have you chat about that. Cool. So core automations, like we said, see you got your business WhatsApp, right? Then you got your system, your CRM integrations. and then you got your payment gateways below that. With all of this, this is like all the tools that you would need, right? The idea here is that you always follow, I mean, we follow a very simple process when we're doing marketing. This is like a simple marketing thing. Collect email addresses or collect the information of the person. Send the people something, some form of information. Stay in communication, and by some point, there's going to be a sale that's going to happen. You're going to find there's obviously other tactics in terms of finding a problem and things like that. But generally, you just capture the lead, you get their attention, you then drive that attention, and that attention is going to lead to something positive or negative. And through that, you just keep on working through it. I see some questions on Poppy. I see some questions on things. So we're going to get to that. Cool. So especially because when we're talking about compliance. So the reality is here, people need to opt in. You need to be compliant. And especially when you're talking about business WhatsApp API. If you're going to be sending messages to people, you need to have their consent. So that's the first thing. Secondly, you don't want to be, well, the thing is, I'm going to go into it a little bit just now, but the reality is you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to be sending people too many messages in a bulk format, because what happens is Facebook themselves are paying attention to every message you send. This thing here, message templates, that is marked in second. What happens is they are so stringent on the type of communication that you have that you have to give them a copy of that email, of that message. So you'll say, hey, this is the message I'm always sending to people. And then they will mark it in one of three levels. They will either mark it as a utility message, authentication message, or a marketing message. Now, if you're sending an authentication message, that means like a OTP pin, for example, someone to authenticate who they are. If you are sending a utility message, it is something that is more of a transactional conversation. Tends to be robotic, so it's really just like something that you've asked for. And then there's the marketing message, and the marketing messages can be flamboyant and out there. And what happens is Facebook charges SIP differently for each one of those messages. So what happens, so you yourself need to know what messages are going out there. Remember, I said to you before, you need to know how you're communicating with people. You can't do it, you know, if we go right back to the first WhatsApp, you can send any type of message. You can swear even if you like, and nobody's going to do anything. No one's really monitoring that. It's just that peer-to-peer communication. Whereas in the business API, every single thing you say is very, very important. So don't worry, we're going to be sending out the presentation. I think it's really, really critical that we just sort of connect around the words, and then at the end of the day, please feel free, ask questions. So the message template itself needs to be quite clear. And then, yeah, I think the idea is always to try and provide value as much as possible. So the compliance is really, really, really important. The more compliant you are, the more Facebook will allow you to actually send in volume. So, and you can send out to people directly as long as they're aware of it. So there is a little Poppy issue there. So for example, if you import those numbers into your thing, and then you can blast it out to them, and if they're not aware of you, that could cause a bit of an issue because they can complain. But if, let's just say, it all goes well, which has happened to us before, then you'll actually get, you know, they'll beef up the amount of messages that you can send at once. So that's just something to be aware of, especially API. So how does this look like in terms of launch? And just at the end of this 14-day roadmap that I'm going to give you, I'm going to share a little hack that we have found that is really awesome. And the cool thing is you guys are going to have an awesome opportunity to test it as well. So the thing is, you need to have the setup basically comes around, what do we want to automate? What do we think we can leverage and save time upon? Is it going to be the incoming? Is it going to be, do we have so many inquiries that needs that happening? So I'll give you an example for one of my small businesses. We do sports equipment. And what we decided to do, it's because it's a bit of a tricky story, right? We live in Africa. I work with people that not necessarily great at stock control. We sell the sports equipment, but and we really niched in the space of martial arts. So the question was like, and all of those things come to my WhatsApp, all the orders. And sometimes I get like 10 orders at once. And now these things have to be, and there'll be maybe one item, and sometimes it's 100 items. And like, oh my gosh, I need to deal with all of these things, put them in for the courier, and then send them. So what we did was we tried to re-look at this thing and say, how can we make this work with WhatsApp? User sends the message to me. Once my bot sees that message, I want to place an order. That message, whatever that message is then taken, is the most important parts in terms of the order itself, is extracted and then sent to my supplier. My supplier gets that message. They don't know the difference, whether it's from me or whether it's from the bot. And they say, cool, stock is available. Once they give the thumbs up, that comes back to me, yes. And then I literally go back to the customer and say, cool. Then from there, we literally go process the invoice. The invoice gets sent, the money gets paid, and then I say, okay, please order. And then I have to also do it in the sense that, so it just takes care of one piece first, and then another piece afterwards. So at least I'm not having to send the message forward to somebody every single time an order comes through. The process of checking for stock, that is automated. The next step will be actually the invoicing component being automated. The next after that is making sure that the ordering is then automated. So you want to look at it piece by piece, and one that's specifically for your use case that will work out. And sometimes you might have to just simplify the way you're doing things in order to make it fit in this context. So it might not be necessarily easy, but it's also it might be a good way to exercise to just change it. So you'll set it up, you integrate, you run a few tests, and then you'll launch and optimize, right? And because the communication, as I've described it to you, will change. And you can do that within 14 days. A really, really cool thing, and I saw Discovery do it as well, is an abandoned cart sequence. Now, abandoned cart is when you have an e-commerce website, and let's just say somebody has put something in their cart and they've put in their details, but what has happened is they've gotten cold feet. How do you save that? You can literally send them a WhatsApp. Hey, you forgot something in your cart. Those are the typical ones. You could be more imaginative than that and really beef it up. There's something in your cart. Hey, listen, on us, take a 10% or 5% discount. Added to whatever's there. So you can really do a lot from that, and you can double it up with email. You can triple it up with SMS. You can really do a lot with it. And when you're communicating with people on 3 different levels, it does a whole host of difference. And then obviously there's the other part where you can have appointment reminders that can continuously go out and reminding the people that they have this appointment, and that, if they miss out, maybe that there's a charge, those type of things. Just remind people because it helps. Cool. So pitfalls to worry, to pay attention to. You need to have people opt in. If you don't have them opt in, it's going to be dangerous. Sometimes with some of these weird systems that are there, you could end up, because I think somebody mentioned it earlier, it was around security. You got to make sure you're using secure systems, because when you're communicating with people and there's a leak in security and information that's being shared, that could be dangerous. And then the last bit is you don't need to over automate. Just keep it simple. And the cool thing is there's software out there that can make it that you not only, even if you're on WhatsApp API, there's systems out there that we've actually built one that will be where you'll be able to use your 2 fingers, but it's on a computer. So you can respond directly to everybody that is responding, because Facebook does have a little clause that if the message was initiated by the customer, that they don't charge you for 24 hours of that conversation. So the hack we do is we make sure that we push everybody to actually go and prompt the message. Because then once that message is prompted, you can almost send them whatever you'd like. And you send them from the WhatsApp API, and you can continuously have the conversation. In fact, if any of you know Max, the SMME bot, that's exactly what we did. We got people that came onto the website to click through, and when they click through, they literally had a chat with Max. Max would then lead them to understand what it is that they needed, whether that was funding advice, whether it was, and that what allowed us to do, if it was funding, or if it was just around general networking, or if it was around, I can't remember what the other one was. But regardless of what their communication was, it allowed us within the CRM to bucket those people. We could then say, okay, look, you want to know more information about funding. You want to know more information about networking. So we're going to send you more information. We can send you more information about those things. And that's how you can start to make sure that you're not sending the wrong information to the wrong type of people. Cool. So this is part of the things that offers that you convert people in the e-commerce space. It's all about the price. If you can really have, and it's also about fast. So this is the things that WhatsApp brings. You have to bundle your deals. You have to do limited price drops, those types of things, and create that urgency, right? I've got a bit of a scaling playbook, but and that will be actually sent. I think it's on Monday that you guys will get it, depending on how much you pay attention. The segmentation. Remember, we spoke about the segmentation, about the business. Are you interested in networking? Are you interested in business funding? Are you interested in just connecting with other business owners? Well, either way, this is the path for you. You can create those for yourself. So you can get customer intent. You can maximize the engagement within that space. Then it triggers other journeys that can happen later, right? So you can build on this and build on this. In fact, the second iteration of Max is going to be soon underway. So it'll be very interesting to see how we develop it. And then the inventory alerts. This is another thing. Obviously, you could get an email or you could get a WhatsApp that comes to you. Like I said, we got a little hack, and that hack comes directly. It's built more for small business and for those that want to use business WhatsApp predominantly to do the bookings, to be able to, and it's now, because the problem is with WhatsApp API, they have now moved on to this per message model, which can get a bit pricey. You need to know how many messages are going out and when and which they are, because, for example, I sent out about 200 messages that were all marketing orientated. All that messaging cost $10, versus I sent the exact same amount of messages on I sent it on utility. Same amount of messages. It cost me like, I think $2. So it's just massive, massive difference. So you just gotta, when you can find a way to get your messages in utility, that'll be the way. And then the other way for small businesses that we actually got a robot that we can plug in to your business WhatsApp. And that robot can do the AI, can do the bookings and stuff for you. So if this is a use case that you feel that will work for you, I invite you to just book some time with me. I'll send it to you at the end, and we can go through. So let's I don't know if all of you are aware, but we ran a bit of a competition. Oops. We ran a bit of a competition, and I want to be able to announce the winner, if that's okay. So this was the deal. This is the deal. So maybe in the meantime, maybe we can get a few questions that come through while I sort of pull this up. If you have any questions, I think now would be a great time to ask.
Yeah, we've got a few questions, Marlon. So Angelique wanted to know, can you integrate the booking functionality with something like Activita? So if you already have a booking system, can you just integrate it?
You see, that's what I was saying earlier. It really depends. I don't know. That's the short answer. But most likely, it really depends. I mean, like in the medical industry, they have all these different applications that are closed because of protections and things like that, because of security. So they tend to have these closed systems that don't necessarily play nice with things. But if it doesn't, what one could think about is how to trigger it with links, etc. So it doesn't necessarily, it's not tightly together, but you could probably prompt certain things. And look, WhatsApp is everywhere. So if they don't have a native integration itself, potentially, but this is something that would require some research. And like I say, I employ everybody to just book some time with me, and we can run through your use case with your stack or software bundle, and then we see how can you, whether it's possible or not.
Marlon, how can people book time with you?
Great question. Okay, let me just move this here. We'll come back to this one. You can use my booking bot, and you can book some time there. The screen, you can go to link.storyadvantage.co/WA consult, or you can just scan the QR code. So this is really awesome. I want to say thank you to everybody that entered into the draw. So I think here, I just want to check. I want to make sure, because the whole idea was the amount of entries is going to get you the win, right? And what's up for grabs, we were talking about one of our deepest consults, where we really look at your business, your brand. We give you a whole new sort of fresh look on your messaging, especially for 2026. And now is a good time for that. How we can simplify your marketing process, how you can actually build, if you don't have already, depending on where you are, build a nice roadmap for your customers to be able to communicate and be able to grow. Even sometimes refresh that list. So the system that I'm using is not exactly the easiest. I'm just going to try and see the way that you win is by the most amount of entries. And I think there's a tie. I'm just making sure, because I have to go through quite a number of pages here. Okay, so it's a tie between Cassandra D, I don't know if she's here, Cassandra D, Vusi Ingwenya, and Bungile. Seems like Bungile in security. Oh, wait, no, sorry. And there's one more person. So now we're gonna have to draw out of a hat for these 4. I was not expecting that everyone ends on Nele. So I don't know if you're all in the room. If you heard your name, just like say I'm here, because you need to be in the room to win. So let's just start there. Let's just start
So
there.
I don't think any of them are in the room.
Oh.
I don't think any of them are in the room.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Okay, so
Sanele is here.
Zanele is here.
Sanele, yes.
There's Sanele, but this is not Sanele. This is Zanele.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Dalson, I don't think Dalson's name was called out. Yeah, I don't think we have any of your winners here.
Oh, that's a pity. Okay, let's try. Let's go to the very next. Let's try and go for the very next one, which was 7. So, by the way, big thank you to them. Even hopefully you watched this video. They did 23 entries, which means they shared it on Facebook. I'll actually check later, but like they shared it to their network. So really, big thank you to all of you. And the next one was Norman. Norman doesn't have a surname, unfortunately.
Let's
Norman,
see
are
if we
you
have a
here?
Norman. Let me have a look. No, we also don't have Norman here.
Okay,
You know what?
moving
Maybe
down
you
the
should just
list.
maybe you should pick someone from that's in the room.
Maybe. Okay, let's try 2 more. Desiree Ranoko.
Let's have a
And
look.
then, if not Desiree, because Desiree and Jeffrey Bagopi, sorry.
No.
Desiree Bagopi.
Remember, we
No?
had we had more than 400 people that registered for this.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, these people actually did something different. And they went through quite a painstaking. Okay, so then we're gonna have to. Did they oversleep? Yeah, maybe they did. Okay, then we're gonna have to do a draw from here. How do you have any ideas of how we're gonna do it? Oh wait,
Hey.
somebody's here! We got a winner! Awesome. That's awesome. Okay, I'm glad. I'm really glad. I'm glad I could give it to somebody because I was not happy at the moment that no, there was a winner. Thank you. Well done. Congratulations.
All right. And what are they getting?
Oh, so funny enough, I didn't write it there, but let me just make sure I read it correctly, so that so like I said, it's actually it's a whole marketing package that we sell for 45,000 rand.
Wow.
What it is going to help them to get messaging. Then they're going to get a messaging session. They're going to get a marketing strategy session. They're going to get a blueprint in terms of their roadmap and how it should be. We're going to look at if it's there already. We're going to tweak it. If it's not there, we're going to help them implement it. And then on top of that, there's added marketing software that we already have. That's going to be in the thing. There's a WhatsApp. That's a WhatsApp tool that we got as well. That's launching in the new year that they'll get first access to. There's customer journey tracking software that we use that got things like heat maps and really just watching what people do on your website, whether they're clicking or not. We're going to have all of that installed as you do. And then what we're going to do is we're going to support you for 90 days. Throughout the process as you market and as you grow. So that's what is on.
Okay, fabulous. So Marlon, before we close, we also had a question from Pusalet. So she's asking if she needs to put in additional cybersecurity when she wants to take payments via WhatsApp.
Look, it's encrypted end to end currently. So I don't know how you're currently doing it. I'm not sure what you're currently doing. So I think if we're talking about a simple link, then no. Just your link, your site should be secured. Wherever's processing the payment should be secured. So you should be fine. And it's an end-to-end encryption. So you should be good.
Okay. And then we had a question from Nora. She's asking, can you maybe explain step by step, how do you get people to give consent or to opt in to your
So
WhatsApps?
yeah, look, if they initiate the conversation, they've given their consent. So that's the one side. Um, if you want to continue to have it, you need to ask. So you send the first message unprompted, and then you just give them the option to opt out, very much like our SMSs are.
Okay, and
And I
then
think you would just let them know, you came from X database, you know.
Pusuleto again is asking, before I integrate the WhatsApp automation, do I need to have a CRM in place before?
You don't, but it's just easier. You want to know who is speaking to what, and it's just difficult if you look. It really depends on what level of. That's why I said, let's have another chat, because if you're talking about WhatsApp API, that is a little bit of a different ballgame. I'd strongly suggest we do have a CRM, so that we're paying attention to what messages are going to whom and how that conversation is going. Because you're spending money per message on WhatsApp API. If it's WhatsApp business that you are automating somewhat, you don't necessarily need the CRM, but I think it's also nice because then you know who is saying what to whom, or what is the conversation between the bot. Actually, you can see it, you can read it, but then again, we're going back to manual here. And if you're having maybe 50, even 50 conversations a month with different people, that's going to be crazy. So
Marlon,
yeah,
okay, do you just want to go back and just put up how people can connect with you again, please?
yeah, sure. Here we go. So guys, please feel free. Is that all the questions?
Yeah, that is all the questions.
Great. Look, we are sitting on a precipice. A huge amount of time and energy is spent on WhatsApp. And if you are not finding a way to leverage that within your e-commerce store, within your consultation services, within whatever it is you're doing, you're missing out. You're leaving a lot on the table. I mean, we're talking about what I think is like 8 billion worldwide. I mean, sorry, 2 billion or 1 billion worldwide that have this application. In South Africa, I don't think there's a soul that doesn't have it. So this is your opportunity where you can explode just by having very, very clear communication, very clear promotions. Even if we dial this all the way back, which is something I forgot to mention. Let's just say you run Facebook ads or Meta ads to your WhatsApp catalog. That is a biggie. We're actually running a campaign like that for a customer. They are a nail salon, and they want to be able to sell different specials that they have. Now, they have these different softwares, and honestly, the software, excuse the nail salon people that maybe like the software, I hate Fresher. It's really not nice for marketers. So what we've done is we created a catalog. Then each one of those catalog items has a specific unique link. We drive the traffic from Facebook into a WhatsApp chat where they can communicate about that specific product. And where do they redeem it? In store. We can even then give them and a lot of that is actually a bit manual until we've got a process going nicely. Then the bot will go in. But for now, it's just like drive them into the thing, and you don't have to spend too much money. You can literally spend, depending on the value of your product, 1,000 Rand to start off with. And if that generates 2 or 3 customers, becomes worth it. Then you got to work on the messaging and all those other things. But mainly the tool itself is powerful.
Okay, I just want to say, Angelique said that the QR code's not working, but I tested it, Angelique. It is working. It takes you to Marlon's WhatsApp, his business WhatsApp, and then you can book a session there with him. So just try again. Then we have a question here. How do you balance the risk and weak points on WhatsApp, like scams and impersonation and data privacy?
When you're talking, I think that requires a bit more context. I think that requires a lot of context.
Yeah, because this is it's not a WhatsApp group where people see each other's conversations.
Correct.
It is someone having a conversation with you directly. So
Correct.
it's not a group where your customer's information is available to anybody that's on the group. So that will negate it.
And think about it like this: if a scammer gets the number, which happens often, and they message my bot is going to ask them very specific questions. And if they're not going in that line, the conversation becomes useless to them.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Marlon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's been great. Thank you very much to everybody that's joined us today. We are so grateful for your time and for joining us. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful, blessed day.
Up, down, 5.